Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jazzy RN. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back. The goal of my channel is to help nurses pivot from the bedside to remote work. And I have a history of working over 9 years remotely as an insurance nurse. I work in utilization review, which is also considered utilization management. And I only have 2 years of bedside experience. So this first company is called CareSource, and they're hiring a team lead clinical care review. This is for behavioral health. Now, just a FYI, there's behavioral health clinical review and there's medical clinical review. Basically, behavioral health is whenever the member or patient is medically stable but not psychologically stable. So this is a team lead position, and you will provide direct oversight over the other clinical review nurses and oversee day-to-day workflow with the team. And this does not mean that you're a supervisor. You actually assist the supervisor in doing their job. So the requirements are the first thing I look at. You must be a graduate level degree as a mental health professional or a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing or equivalent years of relevant work experience is required. This job wants you to have 1 year of utilization management or utilization review experience required. A minimum of 5 years clinical experience preferred, that's considered bedside, and a certified care manager experience is preferred. Now, the basic competency, knowledge, and skills, they do want you to have basic computer skills, including proficiency in Microsoft Word and Excel. Make sure you have Microsoft Word and Excel on your resume. I'm not going to go over every single bullet point, it's pretty long. But they do also include, you have MCG certification is preferred. That is not required, but preferred. I just want to give you an FYI. If you go to the description box below, you'll see a link regarding it's called Cure to Bedside Burnout, and I have this screenshot here. If you want to scroll towards the very bottom, it's kind of fuzzy, but you can actually get certification through Interqual or MCG. The price for both are $200, and the MCG certification, it is online and it's 14 weeks. So this actually is a live course. So just FYI, if you decide you want to get certification prior to getting the applying, or while you're in the process of applying to different jobs, you can do that. But also, any company you work for, they will teach you how to use MCG and Interqual. I have experience in both. The very first company I worked for started off with us using Interqual. They changed it to MCG for about 1.5 years and then back to Interqual. And then company 2 and 3 both use Interqual. So the MCG is very similar to Interqual. The only difference is I noticed that it's easier to approve authorizations using MCG over Interqual. So back to the team lead position. The salary this is a salaried position, and the pay is $72,000 to $115,000 per year. The next position is same exact position, but it's not a team lead. You're a clinical care reviewer too. They require a multi-state license RN behavioral health. And for this position, you will need an associate's degree of science in nursing required, or a Bachelor of Science in social work. They do hire nurses and social workers for this job. 3 years of clinical experience is required. Utilization management or utilization review experience is preferred, not required. Medicaid or Medicare or commercial experience preferred. I'm not going to go over every single bullet point for competencies, knowledge, and skills. It's pretty much similar to the previous job. And this one also says MCG certification is required or must be obtained within 6 months of hire required. And this job is an hourly position, and the pay is $62,000 to $100,000 per year. The next position is for access nurse. They're hiring for several RN telephone triage positions, and this is evenings, weekends, only full-time and part-time opportunities, which is 20 hours plus per week, and incentives for bilingual Spanish telephone triage RNs. This requires you to have a current multi-state RN license with no restrictions. Nurses currently holding a single state RN license must obtain a multi-state license prior to being made a job offer. They want you to have 2+ years of RN experience. proficiency using computers and type a minimum of 25 words per minute, excellent listening and comprehension skills to determine key information by patient. Now, regarding your remote workstation or HIPAA requirements, you must have high-speed internet connection. Your workstation must be in a room where door can be locked. That's considered a HIPAA-compliant area. Desk must be large enough to hold 2 monitors, computers, accessories, and a hands-free headset. And just a FYI, no one's ever came to my home to see if my room is HIPAA compliant or my desk can carry all these monitors and computers, etc. I never had any kind of coworker come to visit to make sure that my working area looks up to par, and I've never had anyone had to, let's say, have my computer screen turned around to see my working area. Also, ability to handle confidential information. HIPAA compliance is mandatory. Your training will be virtually via Zoom, and it'll be for 4 weeks, and 100% attendance is required, and here is the schedule. The next position is with Oscar Health. This is Utilization Review Nurse. That's what I do. And for this position, they require you to, they're only open to candidates who reside in Texas, Georgia, Arizona, and Florida. And it does say while your daily work will be completed from your home office, occasional travel may be required for team meetings and company events. Now, the first company I worked for was in the same city I lived in. And we actually trained for 10 months in the office. And then after the 10th month, we took all our computer accessories, laptop monitors, etc., and brought it home and been working from home ever since. So I'm not sure how this would work with this company since they're hiring from these 4 states. But you're always going to ask about that whenever you are fortunate enough to get an interview. The pay for this role is $35 to $45.94 per hour. And the requirement is an active, unrestricted RN license from the U.S. or active compact multi-state license, unrestricted RN license as defined by the Nurse Licensure Compact, associate's degree or bachelor's degree, nursing or graduate of accredited school of nursing, MCG or interqual tooling experience, as you can see back here, and ability to obtain additional state licenses to meet business needs, 1+ year of utilization review experience in managed care setting. They want you to have experience, 1+ years of clinical experience, including at least 1 year of clinical practice in the acute care setting. That's an ER hospital. And you get bonus points for having a bachelor's degree in nursing and previous experience conducting concurrent or inpatient reviews for a managed care plan. The next position, this is for a supervisor, and this will be for a utilization review nurse. BPO stands for Business Process Outsourcing. That basically means some insurance companies or companies anywhere in the United States can have employees who work in different countries. So let's say, for example, the insurance company who is United States based hires a different company, a contractor company, to hire their nurses from the Philippines. The Philippines nurses have something called a USRN. So the nurse in the Philippines, she or he lives in the Philippines, and she goes through a process of taking the NCLEX in the Philippines. They pass the NCLEX and they get awarded. I'm not sure how it actually works, how they get a USRN. They don't actually live in the United States, but it does happen. And the nurse can not practice nursing, but work remotely from the Philippines for a U.S. company. So that's what BPO is. So for the requirements for this job, it's only open to candidates who reside in Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Nebraska, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, or Virginia. So they have a lot more options for the supervisor. And this one has the same exact statement as the previous. While your work daily will be completed from your home office, occasional travel may be required for team meetings and company events. This is the base pay for this role is $91,000 to $120,000 per year. And the requirements are 3+ years utilization review experience and a managed care plan, or provider organization, active unrestricted RN licensure from the U.S., or an active compact multi-state licensure, RN license. 2+ years of offshore managing vendor experience. So as I mentioned, the BPO, that's offshore, as in employees who don't live in this country, offshore. 2+ year of leadership experience, associate's degree, and our bachelor's of science from an accredited school of nursing. 5+ years healthcare experience, including 2 years clinical practice in an acute setting, and MCG Milliman experience. And you get bonus points for a bachelor's degree in nursing, a master's degree in nursing, and project management certification, which includes Six Sigma, Scrum, and Agile. The next screen is, I want to show you, if you go to the description box below and you want to scroll more towards the bottom, this gives you a visual of what a bedside nurse is versus an insurance nurse. So a bedside nurse has a patient, an insurance nurse has a member. Both the bedside nurse and insurance nurse has the same diagnosis, bowel obstruction. On the bedside nurse side, it takes a team of, let's say, the radiologist, technician, the radiologist, the doctor, so on and so forth, to get the information that we need on the insurance side. So let's say the X-ray comes back as positive for bowel obstruction, and a doctor orders an NG tube to suction, IV fluids 100 cc's an hour, and NPO. For the insurance nurse using Interqual, I already have bowel obstruction memorized for Interqual. The clinicals, which is whatever you chart in Epic, Cerner, Protouch, etc., that's what clinicals are to the insurance nurse. So we must see that the member has an imaging positive for a bowel obstruction. It doesn't matter where the bowel obstruction is located in the bowel, it's just that it must be positive in there. The member also is NPO, has an NG tube to suction, and continuous IV fluids. If all these criteria is met for Interqual, the insurance nurse can approve the authorization. So what you do at the bedside as a bedside nurse directly relates to what is reviewed by an insurance nurse. And then where does the insurance nurse obtain clinical? From the hospital. The clinical is a charting done by the hospital staff. And not just the nurse on the bedside. It includes the CNA, the radiologist, the doctor, everything that you do at the bedside. All that charting is what's transferred over to the insurance side so that the insurance nurse can review for medical necessity. And that's either using Interqual here or MCG. And the very last job is a case management position. This is with Oscar Health. And for this position, it is remote for candidates who reside in Arizona, Florida, Georgia, or Texas. It has the same exact wording. While your daily work will be completed from your home office, occasional travel may be required for team meetings and company events. And the base pay for this role is $39.28 to $45.94 per hour. And the requirements are active, unrestricted RN licensure from the United States, or active compact multi-state unrestricted RN license, ability to obtain additional state licenses to meet business needs, 2+ years of clinical experience and to include payor, hospital, outpatient, or community-based care management, and 1+ years of experience in care coordination and navigation. And here are the bonus points: CCM certification, that is chronic care management. Bonus if you're bilingual in Spanish and are Creole reading, writing, speaking. I haven't seen this one in a long time, speaking Creole. Bonus for a bachelor's degree in nursing, and a bonus for working knowledge of Milliman guidelines.